the Cookie Awards with our very own Linda Cook. Now this one I'm really excited about because I want to know which movie surprised you the most.
Hundreds of Beavers. This movie,
Okay,
just the name of it, I was
one.
like, what is this? And
Right.
the studio sent it to me early in the year. And I have to admit, I put it off for a little while. But when I found out that the idea is this is about a guy living out in the wilderness, and in order to win the hand of the lovely lady he adores, he must trap so many animals and bring skins to her father.
Okay.
So it's sort of like a Looney Tunes movie for grown-ups or for older sensibilities, I guess I should say.
Okay.
Now, at first I thought, I don't want to see dead animals. That sounds just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, the dead animals are people in costumes, and when they die, X's appear on their eyes. There is absolutely no bloodshed in this movie.
Okay.
It is goofy, it is funny, and it is so smart. It is streaming, and it is a must-see. I laughed so hard, I cried.
Okay, well, at first I was going to say that was disturbing, but it's not because it's a comedy. But we will get to her most disturbing movie. What's that?
The Substance, and
Okay.
this is a movie about how women are expected to age and to look even as they age.
Right.
It's a body horror film about a very desperate woman in her 60s who, and played by Demi Moore, absolutely astonishing in this performance. She discovers a way that she can send herself out into the world as a younger person. Of course, the problem is this substance isn't going to last forever.
Of course not.
This is not for the squeamish, and certainly not for kids, but I found it one of the most remarkable movies of the year. It is a science fiction horror movie again, rated R, very much.
Rated R, and very disturbing.
Very.
Now we have to talk about the most underappreciated movie.
Well, let's see here. The Substance was one of them.
Okay.
But the Juror number 2 is one that is streaming right now.
Okay.
And I had not really heard much about this until I realized I knew who the director was.
Okay.
It's Clint Eastwood.
Okay.
And he is in his 90s
Oh,
and
wow.
still bringing us great movies and reinvent himself, really. If you think about a movie like 12 Angry Men, a courtroom
Yes.
drama, this is similar to that, at least in the overall theme. But the idea of this is that a juror knows a lot more about the case than anybody else in the courtroom.
Okay.
What is he going to do? And I love movies that put us there in the perspective of the focused character. What would you do if this happened to you? And besides, I start jury duty Monday.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
yeah, this really rang true with me. Again,
Yeah.
you may not have heard of this, but it is a good old-fashioned yarn. It really is.
Yeah, actually, I've just started seeing promotions of it on streaming. So not a
Good.
lot, but
Good.
a little bit because I did put it on my list of movies to watch.
Good.
So now this one, we've got to get a drum roll for.
Okay.
Now, last but not least, your nomination for Best Picture.
And I've got Best Pictures
Okay.
because there are two that I really can't choose between.
Okay.
The first one I saw some time ago, and it's called Conclave.
Yes.
It is streaming now. The idea is that the Pope has died, and the group who gathers is full of deceit,
Yes.
mystery, and not a little intrigue. I
Okay.
was so amazed by this film. It has a wonderful ensemble.
Yes.
It truly is a thriller. It doesn't sound like it, but it is, and it will keep you going and guessing until the very last
Yeah,
moment.
it does sound very, very intriguing. Now, you have a one that tied for number one.
A Complete Unknown, which isn't by now.
Right.
A Complete Unknown is the story of one of my favorite musicians, Bob Dylan.
Okay.
4 years of his life, the very beginning of his career, and how he makes it to the top, really, in a very short time. It also shows him, I think, warts and all, the way he treats the women in his life is maddening. But the way he is dedicated to his music and the passion there is incredible. Timothy Chalamet actually sings and plays, and he becomes Bob Dylan. A great movie.
Oh, wow. Definitely one to check out.
Comedy is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Okay.
And here's a funny thing. We all have such different tastes in the newsroom, right? But I counted, and there were 6 people who saw this movie within like 2 weeks of each other. Everybody loved it. This is also a crowd pleaser, again for grown-ups, but very, very smart and very funny when these two superheroes get into it in a sort of buddy film.
Okay, awesome. And then let's talk about Best Documentary.
Oh, Best Documentary. It took me a little while. I had 10 that I really loved.
Okay.
But because this is family friendly, I did choose this one.
Okay.
This is not a Disney movie, but it is on the Disney Plus channel.
Okay.
It's called Billy and Molly, an Otter Love Story. The idea is that a man in Shetland finds an ailing otter, and this little creature touches his heart like nothing else has.
Okay.
He takes it in, but the problem is the wild belongs in the wild, and he has to learn that there's a limit to their friendship, and he does. It is just beautiful, and I can't think of anyone who wouldn't like this movie.
Okay. Now, I love a good animated movie, so your best anime of 2024.
That would be Flow, and
Okay.
Flow is by a Latvian filmmaker who used no dialogue in telling the story. It sounds impossible, but it's
Right.
not. This cat is the central character. When a flood comes to an area, the cat needs to learn to work with other animals that would be its enemies otherwise in order to survive this flood.
Oh, wow.
It is beautifully, beautifully done. And to do it without dialogue, I think, is an art.
Right. Okay. Now, we have to talk about your favorite family film.
Oh, well, the family film, of course, is Inside Out, too.
Okay.
And even if you haven't seen the first one, you'll like this one. This is
Okay.
about a girl who, now she's growing up. She's from the first movie. And of course, with growing up come more emotions that sometimes trip over each other in her head. A beautiful movie, and another one that families can see together.
You can always find Linda's complete list on our website, but we have to give Linda cookies for her Cookies Award. So there you go.
My
Happy
favorite, thank you.
holidays.